So the Lorax wants to send the swarmy swans away because they are all smogged up and they cannot sing. But he's lamenting to the Once-ler, where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or even a year to escape from the smog you have smogged up around here. You can see that they are really struggling to even fly, and are they even born to fly for a month or a year? But they must get away. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, which means he was really upset. Let me say a few more words about the gluppity glup. Your machinery chugs up day and night without stop, making gluppity glup. Also sloppity slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I will show you, you dirty old Once-ler man. You dirty old Once-ler man. You. He's showing all the gluppity glup and the sluppity slup that is being produced by the Sneed factory. It's going into the plant, it's going into the ground, it's flowing into the river, and it's getting into the air, and you can see it's flowing everywhere. Now it is affecting the humming fish that we talked about, where the water was clean, the lake was wet, but now you see it's full of this sluppity slup and the gluppity glup that we don't want. All the water bodies in the world are polluted, and this is what we are talking about. All the fish have mercury in them, they have plastic in them, they have chemicals in them, and so on. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. Okay, let me read again. You are glumming the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off on their future. Oh, their future is dreary. They will walk on their fins and get woefully weary. I'll search in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Okay, so sorry I'm stumbling the reading. That's not the best way to read for the kids, but let's continue anyways. I hope you have a teacher who can do much better in reading, because they read this often enough to do it much better job. So here are the fish trying to get away from the gummed up pond, and they must walk on their fins to get away, and they have no choice. So the Lorax is sending them away, and here is the Lorax trying to plead to the Once-ler, telling him what he is doing, what impact he is having, all his endless greed, and for the Sneed and the business, what he is doing to the planet. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad, says the Once-ler. I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, bad, bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I am figuring on biggering, which means grow bigger and bigger, and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truthful trees into Sneeds, which everyone needs. So he's created this massive demand for the Sneeds made out of the truthful trees, and he's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and become a $1 trillion company. We won't say dollar here, whatever the unit, right? So here we are now. All the trees are gone. There is just pollution coming out of the Sneed factory, and the Once-ler doesn't care. And at that very moment we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truthful tree of them all. So here we are, end of the truthful tree to make the Sneeds, and the Once-ler was not paying attention how many trees were left, and he's whacked his last axe on the truthful tree, and the very last truthful tree of them all has fallen with a loud whack. Okay, here we are the machine that is whacking the last trufula tree. There isn't a trufula tree in sight anywhere, only pollution and stumps of dead trufula trees left to look at. The Thneed, you need a Thneed. No more trees, no more Thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke smuggled street stars. This dark here. Let me read again. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time my uncle and aunts, everyone, all waved goodbye, then jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke smuggled stars. So he had made money, he had so many cars, the uncles and the aunts and everyone didn't care that they were his cars. They just had no job and they had to leave, so they just jumped into his Once-ler's cars and drove away under the smoke smuggled stars. Pollution everywhere. Now all that was left neath the apostrophe neath means beneath. Now all that was left neath the bad smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. So here are all the cars that the relatives are driving away from the Thneed factory, putting out more smoke because they are burning some fuel that is also producing pollution. And talking about smuggled skies, in fact astronomers are having a lot of trouble with their telescopes, and all the lights that are on all night are creating so much night light pollution that the birds and animals are getting confused and they are struggling with the light pollution, insects and so on and so forth. Life cycles of many species of animals and birds are being affected by not only the chemical pollution, water pollution, air pollution, but also light pollution as well. Okay, so the Thneeds, and here you see something. Boom. What is it? The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I will never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. So that's the Lorax hoisting himself up into the air and taking off through the smog without leaving a trace, and that left the Once-ler to realize what he has done, and all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word: unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. So here is the word unless, and you think you know what unless means? That was long ago, but each day since that day I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I have worried about it with all of my heart. So things started falling apart because all the trufula trees were gone, all relatives were gone, no more needs could be done. The Lorax flew away, but now, says the Once-ler, now that you are here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. That's the unless. So the kid who has come there to listen to the listener, to the Once-ler, about the Lorax, the last trufula tree, has learned that maybe the future in his hands. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So I'm talking to you. We are reading the Lorax, and you are young, and you are feeling the pressure. You hear about climate change all the time, so you also have to think about what is happening to the environment. There is not a lot you can do at your age, even if you're in the 12th grade, but you can be aware of the Lorax, the Once-ler, and the truffula trees, and the smuggled up ponds, and smogged up atmosphere, pollution, barbaloots gone, and swarmy swans gone, and so on. And you can ask questions of the brothers and sisters, of the teachers, of the parents, of the people who make things, of the people who are managers in factories, and so on and so forth. So you can learn what can you do about all this destruction, all this pollution, all this consumption. How can you reduce your consumption, and whether it's possible to get things that are not polluting at all. So here is the Once-ler throwing something back at the little boy who came to listen to him. So, catch, calls the Once-ler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You are in charge of the last of the truffula seeds. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends, the barbaloots, the swarmy swans, the humming fish, and all of his friends may come back. Okay, there is the Lorax, scared of what the Once-ler was doing, and Once-ler was peeping out of his window to look at what he has done, what he had done. And now the book ends. They have started the campaign to help save the real Lorax forest. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not, said the Lorax. I won't tell you what to do, but you should talk to your parents, your teachers about the real life Lorax forest, and you should make sure that it is being saved for you, for your future, and that you are doing what you should and can do. Okay? All the best.